Welcome everyone to another session of the Mastermind Book Club. In tonight's review, we are looking at Peter Lynch, and Peter Lynch wrote several books throughout his lifetime, but one of them is Beating the Streets. It's about Wall Street. In order to present the first summary, I'd like to call Martha Johnson.
Yes, good evening, everyone. This amazing book teaching us how the value of the investment and the easy way to learn it and understand is using the fundamental GARP. It's a combination, the grow and value, and it's a grow and receivable price. Like the investors is looking for stocks that is less the estimated value, but also looking for they can grow, the easy to grow as a potential. So that's my summary for this amazing book. And
awesome, Martha. Awesome. Reggie Hilliard.
Good evening, everyone. Reggie from the Mastermind Book Club. What I'll touch on is it was mentioned in the book to never invest in anything that you can't illustrate with a crayon, right? And this should be something that is adopted by major money managers as well as basic everyday money managers. And so, that's a big deal, right? To make sure you do that, because a lot of those guys will invest in things that are very confusing and end up losing money rather than just take the simple things that are very profitable, right? So with that being the case, even looking at some of these money managers, many of whom lose money, you can actually beat them. You can beat a majority of them, 75% of them. And the goal is to invest in stocks over bonds because stocks historically have a greater return, right? So that's something that you want to consider. And just be smart about it. Invest in things that you're interested in. Do the research. And they say always start with things that products things that you're wearing, and just run with that. And with that philosophy, investing in things that are simple, things and going about it that way, you have a good chance of having a good return and doing well over the course of time.
Thank you, Reggie. And that is true. Having a good philosophy to have a good return. Thank you. Gina Pouchet.
Yes, this is like Reggie just stole my lines. I was going to say that he seemed to be this book was a little bit difficult for me to read. I thought it was a bit like lots of detail inside of it, but at the same thing, that was sort of my takeaway, to piggyback on what Reggie was saying, to buy stocks as opposed to bonds, and because you can make more money in the long run when you're doing that, but to also pick them carefully. He talked about kids in school, certain schools where they would go about learning. The teacher will be teaching them how to pick stocks from a very young age. And so something great that we can pass on to our kids, I suppose. I usually think that somebody else will manage, my money better than I would. Well, that used to be my thinking, I suppose I should say. But now I realize that I am the one who's supposed to be doing that, to make sure that I understand it, so I don't have to pay. What someone mentioned the other day that really stuck in my head. It's like we need to learn about our money. We need to learn about wealth. And because if we don't, then we end up paying what is called an ignorant tax. And I think I've paid enough ignorant tax in my life. So seek knowledge.
Gina, beautifully said. An ignorant tax. Never heard of it. And that is true. On point. Tijuana Williams, it's your turn.
Hello. Hi, everyone. And what I got from the book is the way that he spoke, like almost like what Gina said, when he took his daughters shopping, and then because of the job that he had, as far as he was like the lead man that everybody went to with the stocks, because he knew how to handle the business. So when he took it at home and used his skills at home, he would watch his daughters when he took them shopping to see which store they went to first and what they spent and what they purchased. And then he would go into details about the ingredients that was put into each product and, the details. So that to me was pretty interesting. And it was like an interesting way to look at different things, to kind of go into, to take it apart and to see each thing or each piece for what it offers. So I got that, and it helps me to look at things a little differently too now from this point. So it was a very interesting book too about money and wealth. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tawana Williams. Thank
You're
you. Two important details about this book that I want to add. Everyone said something very important, by the way. Gina said it's a little confusing if you pay attention to the numbers. Yes, it can be confusing if you don't know how to follow the numbers. That's true. And so this is the two. Number one is, how much is Peter Lynch's net worth? In 2006, Boston Magazine posted it was 352 million. In 1990 or so, Peter Lynch could have become the wealthiest person from then onward, but he decided to retire at a young age. Why? He wanted to dedicate time to his family because he had no life. He was a no-lifer, as most people are who are day in and day out trading. Right? Those are two important facts to know there. When is enough enough? Some people will be happy making 100,000. Some people will be happy making 1 million. Some people will be happy making 10 million or 100 million or 1 billion and so on. It's up to you. I mean, the ambition is there, and what you do with your life is up to you. But Sir John Templeton, similar to Peter Lynch, both decided on finding love in the end. At first, it was pursuit of money, teaching others to get money, and then realized that love is better with family and life. For this review, I want to thank you because Peter Lynch is very important, and it's important to learn about money as well as having principles that these very successful people find out on their path. This is the Mastermind Book Club signing off until next week, where we'll review another empowering book. Until then, take care.